थोड़ा खिसका दे मैंने छट्टा भी जरा.
अभी ऑलमोस्ट सारे फ्रेम्स वगैरह सेट हो चुके हैं, लाइट सेट हो चुका है. हम रुक गए हमारे गेस्ट के आने के लिए.
You can right swipe 4 guys or 4 girls at one point of time, and you can chat with all 4 of them, and you can be in 4 different parts of relationship with them.
What is the one there?
See, first of all, I'm talking from a scientific point of view. I'm not talking from a Shah Rukh Khan point of view. The one is a concept
Yeah,
which is mythical.
right.
As humans, to say that, oh, as Shah Rukh Khan and many of our romantic heroes say, that there is someone who's made for you, and when you meet that person, everything will align 100%.
Yeah.
Impossible. Going out on a single date, first date, has to be a carefully thought out decision. It shouldn't be that, oh, I just broke up, so just to fill some void, I have to go out on a date. It gets a little addictive, it gets a little bad for your brain. Now, there is a concept where it says that, 50-50 effort hona chahiye, every relationship is equal. Every successful relationship in the world is around 60-40, 70-30.
Oh, is this a red flag? Oh, is that a red flag? Toxic behavior.
People didn't even know these terms existed 5 years back. Those are things that you look at someone initially when you're dating, and you check in at regular intervals of time.
Right.
Not every day.
Hello everyone, welcome back to What's the Point? And today we are unpacking a baggage called modern dating. So we all know dating and love, romance, everything is so difficult in these times. It feels like you're downloading feelings on 2G. So it gets annoying, frustrating, or just plain confusing sometimes. So to figure out what the point behind the whole dating culture these days is, please welcome with me on What's the Point, Dr. Sagar Mundada, and he's a psychiatrist, a sexologist, and a de-addiction specialist. So I think he's definitely the person that I can go to with all these questions I have in my hand.
Thank you so much for having me. It is a wonderful thing that you guys are doing. You know, the youth is full of information, misinformation. They are loaded with so much of so-called knowledge every day, especially about how they need to lead their lives, how they need to be in relationships, how they need to date, how they need to think, what are the red flags, what are the green flags. Every day you start with your Instagram and you must be having one reel. The youngster, of course, must be having at least a reel telling them this is what they're supposed to do and that is what they're not supposed to do, and this is what a girl should be looking for and that is what a boy should be looking for. So it is very confusing, but I'll try my level best with your help to see if we can clear the clutter. We can make it very precise, we can make it very clear for the youth, so that at least the dating part of their life, all the other things are already very stressful, the study, the career, everything else, the dating becomes a smooth ride for them. Let's try and do that.
Yes, definitely. Dr. Sagar, I would like to begin by asking you, what counts as modern dating? Like, how do we define modern dating? How is it
there is
different?
No specific definition, right? At the outset, I'll tell you that today, every month, you have some new term popping up. Doesn't mean that term exists. It is just a very specific, unique case that somebody is in, and then that person decides, oh, this is what I'm going to call it. And then 10 people who have gone through something similar start agreeing with that. So it doesn't mean that every term that the youngsters that they might be seeing every day, it essentially exists.
Right.
Similarly, when we are saying modern dating is basically, there's no definition of modern dating. Modern dating is when you are in 2025, wherein with the rights, you can do 100 right swipes in 5 minutes. And you can go on 100 different portals online to try and find somebody to go out on a date with. And it can be very confusing. That is what modern dating is. How do you navigate through that? Modern dating is dating in the age of technology. Now dating in the age of ChatGPT. Now dating in the age of AI, wherein you don't know the person that you're dating, whether whatever he or she is saying is exactly his or her words, or
Yeah.
whether he's asking chat GPT what to answer next.
Right.
So that is modern dating.
Okay. And do you think this technology has made it easier for people? Sure, it has to some extent. Like, okay, you have a list of people at the swipe of your thumb, but it has also made people more discarding of people then.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think you've hit the nail right on the head. There are two things to this, all right? Like any new thing that comes, absolutely any new thing, it has a pro, it has a con.
Right.
You take any new thing, you talk of the internet, you have such wonderful things, but you do an excess of that, it could lead to a problem. You're talking of social media, everybody knows social media has connected people more than before, but people are going through mental health issues more than before. So they're more isolated than before because they're not using it properly. Similarly, when you have got such a big thing right at the click of a button that you can right swipe 50 people, that you have so many options, definitely you are spoiled for choice.
Right.
Now, what you do with that choice, do you really get spoiled and be discarding of people, or you have been presented with multiple people before choosing one? It's like in the good old days, 40 years before today, 50 years before today. Let's talk of a car. Let's talk of 40 years before today. You just had Doordarshan.
Yeah.
You had no other option but to see Doordarshan, right? Then TV came.
Yeah.
So you had 2,500 channels that you can 100 channels that you can look at, but still you had to actually watch what the channel was showing you.
Yeah.
Now you have YouTube, wherein you can go and watch what you want when you want. So that has progressed. Now, if you start watching what you want when you want, and that is something that is not helping you in any way, that is a problem with you, not the technology. Similarly, initially it used to be like 40-50 years back, it used to be like you used to marry the person that your family chose for you. No dating also, or in a very specific section of society there was something called as dating. Otherwise it used to be like, the families meet, they get into marriage. So that is one, that's more like Doordarshan, and still the marriages did quite well, most of them, not all, but most of them. Then came something wherein you could kind of date, but that dating used to be for marriage. So let's say the early 2000s, I'm talking of, you have 100 channels, you can go and browse 100 channels, but you have to go and watch what that channel is showing you. You can't decide what you want to see. You have some choice, but not entire choice. So similarly, in the early 2000s, choice was that, as people started meeting more, they started meeting more, but that was again, we date, but the purpose of dating used to be, now let's date and see if we can get married and have a life together.
Right.
Then, as has happened with social media and internet, you can do what you want at what point of time, whenever. The same thing we have come to as far as dating is concerned. You can right swipe 4 guys or 4 girls at one point of time, and you can chat with all 4 of them, and you can be in 4 different parts of relationship with them. So you might be starting a relationship, or you might be starting your dating hi hello with a simple what are you up to, or let's meet up for coffee with someone. At the same time, you might be messaging somebody else, this is the end of our relationship. At the same time, you might be having a third person wherein you are having a situationship. So all 3 things are simultaneously possible, and because of technology, it is possible.
Right.
Now, whether you choose to do it in that way, or amongst the 100 channels available to you, amongst the 100 YouTube channels available to you, which might be empowering the youth, do they see something that kind of weakens them, or do they see your channel? It's again a question of choice. Do they see the youth mindset? Do they see your channel, the Youth Connect, or do they see something that is just going to while away that time? They have to make that choice. Similarly, you have to make a choice as far as out of the multiple options available to you, which one do you choose? If you have the ability to choose whom you are dating a little more carefully, little more pragmatically, with a little bit of patience, now you have the entire world at your disposal. You just you're sitting in Mumbai, but you can have somebody from Pune, you can have somebody from Bangalore, you can have somebody from Dubai. So you have, the world is your, so to say,
oyster.
Is your plate.
The world
now.
is your oyster now.
Yeah, the world is your oyster now. But the thing is, how do you choose to kind of use it, or get abused by it, or kind of do 100 different things that are possible, which we'll discuss. So
Right.
I don't think the technology is to be blamed in any way. I don't think what we are seeing today has to be blamed in any way. It has to be, when you're spoiled for choice, you remember that making that choice, even if it is going out on a single date, first date, has
Yeah.
to be a carefully thought out decision. It shouldn't be that, oh, I just broke up, so just to fill some void, I have to go out on a date, and just because I can right click, I can go. So that approach is where it gets a little tricky, it
Yeah.
gets a little addictive, it gets a little bad for your brain. Otherwise, I think the world is your oyster now. Everything is at your disposal now. You can choose from unlimited number of options.
Yeah.
But choosing diligently, choosing carefully, taking a pause before you choose, deciding whether really you want to go out on a date, or just because 100 people are going out on a date, you are also jumping onto the bandwagon. All of
Right.
these things need to be kind of thought of very well.
And do you think then, because this thing is happening, people have so much options, and once a person is into 4 different things.
Yeah.
With someone you could be on with at a talking stage, with someone you're already in a situationship, that does make the idea of, oh, the one, I have to find the one, a little, I don't know, blurred or something, because people are now still confused, like, okay, I'm still talking to these 4 people, how do I decide which one ends where, begins where, or what is the one there?
See, first of all, there are 2 things, and this is very important. I'm
Yeah.
very happy you're asking that. I'm talking from a scientific point of view. I'm not talking from a
Yeah.
Shah Rukh Khan point of view. The one is a concept
Yeah,
which is mythical.
right.
As humans, to say that, oh, as Shah Rukh Khan and many of our romantic heroes say, that there is someone who's made for you, and when you meet that
Yeah.
person, everything will align 100%.
Yeah,
Impossible.
right.
So even if you meet the one, in the long term, it will require a lot of effort for the relationship to sustain.
Right.
What might happen is, if there is somebody that you are totally at loggerheads with on day one, it will not sustain at all.
Yeah.
But even with the one, the so-called one, even if you feel that you are aligning like this, like salt in buttermilk, or
Yeah.
like sugar in the tea, it's mixing so well.
Yeah.
You will have to, as the relationship progresses, and as the initial hormones which make you feel what they make you feel you're on cloud 9. That comes down, and it will come down.
Yeah.
For somebody it might come down in a week, for somebody in 1 month, for somebody in a year, for somebody 5 years, but it will come down. The thing that will help you sustain it with the one is constant, persistent effort. Only if you are able to put that, and only if you are approaching any relationship with that thought process in mind, will any relationship with the so-called one will also be successful. Otherwise, that will also not be successful. So first of all, we need to rethink the entire strategy that, as they show in the movies, that used to show in the earlier movies,
Yeah.
in the 90s, 80s movies. Before
Yeah.
that, it was still very realistic.
Right.
Now also it is more or less a little realistic. When the early Gen Zs or millennials like us were growing up, what they used to basically show was that the guy and the girl, they know they are best for each other. They meet, they fall in love, they get married, and it is happily ever
Happily.
after. It is not that way with anybody.
Yeah.
With somebody that you don't have compatibility, it will end too fast.
Right.
But with someone with whom you are having a great compatibility, even with that person, once the honeymoon phase is over, and it will get over, it's just about when.
Right.
It requires a lot of effort, and only if you are approaching any relationship, and if you are interested in a long-term relationship, you are approaching it with that sentiment that I have to put in the effort,
Right.
and it will not come very naturally after a certain point of time. Only then the relationship can really flourish, and then it can become the one that we saved.
Right.
So the one that we cherished. So it is important to realize that the one relationship needs to be fostered, it needs to be cherished, it needs a lot of effort, you need to garnish it.
Yeah.
It just won't come by itself.
Right.
It might come in the initial phase, but if you're looking for a long-term commitment, long-term relationship, it will not, for a fact.
Yeah. And since you've said this, the effort part where people, very casually say that, if they want to, they will. So I feel like that's a very it's a very rigid approach to things. Ki if they want to, they will. Oh, he did not text me or she did not text me at this particular hour when I was free or when they were technically supposed to be free. So maybe this person is not the one. And but it's not always that black and white, I feel.
It is never that black and white, and you have to understand that that person or you both have to put in the effort.
Yeah.
Now there is a concept where it says that 50-50 effort hona chahiye, every relationship is equal. I do not believe in that for a minute. There is no relationship in the world which is 50-50. Every relationship, I'm talking of successful relationships in the world, and science also tells you so. Every successful relationship in the world is around 60-40, 70-30. The moment it starts to get more skewed than 70-30, then it becomes a toxic relationship.
Right.
Because only one person is doing so. But if you're thinking of 50-50, that is also never going to happen. One partner at some point of time is going to be doing more.
Yeah.
Then that partner at certain point of time might be in a crisis, so the other partner has to step in.
Right.
That is how the relationship works. If you're looking at it as a transaction, who's messaging first, how much should I message, how much should he message, like social media tells you to, that wait for this much time before messaging,
don't
wait
double
for that
text.
much time, don't double text. It doesn't work that way. There has to be some level of spontaneity involved, there has to be some level of chemistry involved, and that mechanism of chemistry, that chemistry between a guy and a girl, that chemistry between two young individuals, that software has been downloaded in us for millions of years, ever since we are human beings, Homo sapiens.
Right.
So let it flow a little bit. It shouldn't be only flow. So it shouldn't be only instinct and whatever you're feeling you're doing, but it can't be so calculative. If it becomes so calculative, then it becomes a transaction, and any transaction which is so transactional will never survive, because emotional connect, because a strong bond will not be created. So you have to let go a little. At the same time, not let go so much that the other person is just taking you for granted, and it becomes a relationship wherein you are 100% invested and that person is 0% invested, and then you realize, oh, I was in a toxic relationship. So it has to be a very sweet spot wherein both are putting in effort. Both know that they have to put in effort. Both know that the effort that they are putting in will be different at different points of time, depending on what the other person needs. Let's say a guy's girlfriend is going through some family issue, or she's going through some issue as far as her career is concerned. That time it is necessary for the guy to be there for her more. But the same thing happens with the guy. The girl can't be like, he's a guy, now he needs to just man up always. Of course, he needs to man up. But it can't be that he needs to keep providing that. Or it applies, the same thing applies to a girl also, that if a girl is being there for a guy always, sometimes if she's in a vulnerable place and the guy has to leave his job or something, not leave his job, or kind of put it on a second pedestal, second track. It is something that should happen naturally. The moment it feels ki I have to do this for her or I have to do this for him,
then it becomes just a task, a project
so
you're
the
working
moment
on.
it becomes I have to from I want to, then it's not a relationship. It is the end of the relationship. And if it is a feeling that keeps coming consistently, then you are not in a relationship. Then you are just labeling it as a relationship.
True. So, which also brings me to gender roles in a relationship, and how people tend to set very unrealistic expectations from any gender. Like, oh, if she's a female, my girlfriend has to be more emotionally available for me. Or if he's a guy, he has to be more, providing, or more, just very specific gender-based roles in a relationship, which I think need to change a little bit these days, because
they have changed a lot these days. What you're talking of is something that what is happening in society today, it is very different. In society, there are two different kinds of extreme problems that we see. One is what you're talking of, that a specific gender role is assigned to a specific gender. As a man, you have to provide, you have to be strong, you have to be able to be financially providing, protector. Very rigid. And two, as a female, you have to be emotionally more nurturing, you have to be emotionally more understanding. And you have to be. That is one part. And on the other part, there also exists a thing that is happening in many couples or in many dating cultures today, that it has become so sublimated, wherein some basic gender roles that a guy is supposed to do also have kind of gone off, and some basic gender roles which a girl is supposed to do also have gone off, and it has become totally fluid.
Yeah.
Now this, according to science I'm talking of, this is not my opinion, this is science, is not necessarily a good thing. Why?
Right.
Because a man has been possessed with testosterone, loads of it. A female has more estrogen.
Yeah.
For a million years, a female has been doing a certain role, a man has been doing a certain role. I am not saying that it has to be very rigid.
Yeah.
I am saying nature has attuned you to do a specific kind of role in a better way.
Right.
Now, in a specific couple, if the role reversal happens and there is ki and ka, I am not saying anything. But I am saying just because the trend is something, we start saying that, oh, both our roles will be equal, which is also happening these days.
Right.
Wherein the girl is supposed to become masculine, as in protect also, provide also. Okay, if she can do it willingly, she can do it in a very happy place, great. But generally, that doesn't work. The same thing applies for a guy. A guy who is in touch with his feminine side is amazing. But a guy who's become totally feminine, a girl is not going to like that.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong in that. Because that is how nature created us. The
Right.
testosterone is going to make the guy have more muscles.
Right.
If he has more muscles, then he's going to be a better protector.
Right.
The estrogen has made the woman more emotionally sensitive, more attuned to her emotions.
Yeah.
Therefore, better equipped to deal with certain emotional things.
Correct.
Now, you tell the female that you don't be so emotional, you become more masculine, you become more logical. Okay, she should become more logical, but become totally logical and, contribute in the similar way in the equation, in the relationship. It won't work.
Right.
Because North and South Pole attract each other. Similarly, the masculine and feminine energies attract each other. If man is also masculine, female is also masculine, it will be a repelling relationship. If the female is also feminine and the man is also feminine, it will be a repelling relationship.
Yeah.
So, if not based on anything else, but a million years of evolution and hormones and your brain functionality, if you look at it,
Yeah.
what works best is what I have seen is being more attuned to your traditional role while having a button of volume up and down like the AC, wherein you can tune down the masculinity a little bit on demand
Yeah.
or tune it up a little bit. Now, it can't be done to a great extent for a man or a girl, but the ability to be a little flexible
Right.
while your basic role, it's like Virat Kohli, or it's like whom do I say? It's like Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar. These were primarily batsmen,
Yeah.
correct? Now, according to what many modern dating people say is, now this is again a very unpopular belief with the Gen Zs, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
They say that the Virat Kohli should be a good batsman also, he should be a good bowler also, he should be a good fieldsman also. Okay,
Yeah.
it won't work. So it's like a guy should be tapped into his feminine also, his masculine also, all at the same. It's not possible.
Correct.
Same goes for a female. What is preferable? His primary role, Virat Kohli, Sachin Tendulkar, bat.
Yeah.
But both of them, at least Sachin, I remember when we were growing up, he used to bowl and used to get a lot of wickets also.
Yeah.
I think Virat Kohli also used to bowl a little bit.
Yeah.
So sometimes if the situation arises, you should be able to bowl also.
Correct.
Similarly, sometimes if the situation arises that your girl requires you to be there more in an emotional way, at least that ability should be there
Right.
to a certain extent.
Right.
The same thing goes for a girl. If, let's say, your guy is not being able to provide right now financially for a specific reason, for a temporary period,
Correct.
that time the ability to be able to chip in
Yeah.
financially should be there.
Right.
Having said that, again I'm saying, having said that, the primary duty, this is not by compulsion, this is by what nature has given,
Yeah.
of provision should be of a man, of nurturing should be of a woman, with tinges of nurturing in a man, with tinges of protection in a female. Because basically what are we? We can say we have changed a lot. We have changed a lot in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
Before that, it was exactly how things have been going on for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And basically, we were hunter-gatherers.
Yeah.
We were hunter-gatherers for 1,000,000 years.
Yeah.
Then, within 1,000,000 years, 10 lakh years, we were what? Hunter-gatherers. And you can go and read any book of hunter-gatherers. You will not see, oh, there was a hunter who was a female hunter also. No, it was not that way. Why it was not? Or you will see a male hunter. It was not that way because the surroundings didn't allow that way. And therefore, the people's genes, your brain structures, everything evolved that way.
Right.
Since 10,000 years, there's agriculture. So people started settling down. And this industrialized world that we live in is, 50 years, 100 years max.
Yeah.
Our brains, our hormones haven't adapted as fast.
Right.
We want them to. It's a very, very, very common thing that we hear, we are in the 21st century. Still 50 years of progress or 50 years of very fast change is not going to entirely nullify 1 million years of what genetics has done.
Yeah.
So what can we do in such a situation? Know what your primary role is, but at the same time have the willingness, try and inculcate the ability, let's say for a guy, to be emotionally be there for your girl.
Yeah.
Not become her girl gossip bestie. That's not going to be possible. And I'm telling you, if there is a boy who is becoming the gossip girl bestie of a girl, sooner or later the relationship is not going to remain a romantic one. It's just going to become we are friends. Because the chemistry is going to die out then.
Right.
Too much of comfort. I'm saying adequate level of comfort maintains chemistry.
Right.
Too much of comfort kills chemistry.
So it's almost like how we have different people in our lives play different roles. Like if I have a girl bestie who I go to just like vent, gossip, whatever, I cannot find the same person in the person I'm also dating, or I cannot expect all of this to come from the one person. You cannot expect all of this.
You can what I'm trying to say is you can expect this, or the other person should be able to do it in a period of crisis.
Right.
But to expect that, so guys need to become better listeners. I'm not at all advocating that guys should, the girl is venting and the guy's like, I don't know why she's saying the same thing 10 times. No, that is wrong. The guy needs to become a better listener. But for the girl also to expect that he will become the best listener, like my best friend Priya, I think that is also counterintuitive, because if he becomes that, sooner or later, the entire dynamic is only going to change. You want him to be a provider. You want him to be a protector. So he has to be more or less majority of the times in his masculine frame.
Yeah.
The ability has to be there. It's like when you're driving a car. Most of the time you're driving, if it's a gear car in a city like Mumbai, you're driving in 2 or 3, not even 3. You're driving in mode number 2.
Yeah.
But the ability to kind of go to 4 if a road clears has to be there.
Right. Correct.
This is that way.
So when we think of these things like, oh, this is something my partner should have, this is something I want my partner to, be able to provide or whatever, then we came up with terms like red flags, green flags. So if the person possesses something I am actually interested in, like, attracted to, whatever, then green flag. Or anything which is not, I don't know, per my convenience, red flag. So these flags have become, I don't know, they are very subjective. But then again, those also I think account to too much of discarding people, because then we don't really give a person a chance to like connect, and we just get lost in these terminologies. Oh, is this a red flag? Oh, is that a red flag? Toxic behavior. I don't know, intoxic, non-toxic behavior.
No, so it's increased a lot.
Yeah.
People didn't even know these terms existed 5 years back. COVID came and people became too dependent on the internet and all. Everybody was having a lot of time on their hands. So you have to create content.
Correct.
So then people started creating content, including us. I have so many videos made on green flags in a partner, red flags in a partner. But those are things that you look at someone initially when you're dating. And you check in at regular intervals of time.
Right.
Not every day. Not every action can be analyzed. Otherwise, the other person is not going to be in a free flow of state. That other girl is never going to be in a free flow of state if a guy is all constantly, oh, this is a red flag, this is a green flag, yellow, green, red, yellow.
Right. I think
it's not supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be regular check-ins. Like you do a health checkup. Everything is going fine. You still do a health checkup once a year. You don't do a health checkup that once a year expecting कि कुछ तो खराब निकलेगा ये.
Yeah.
You just do it कि भाई in the worst case scenario as a healthy adult, I'm doing it once a year so that I'm not missing something.
Right.
So like you do that health checkup once a year, just in case you have to do a red flag, a yellow flag, a green flag checkup once in a while.
Right.
It can't be done every second day, every second minute. The
Correct.
moment your girl bestie or your guy bestie tells you, oh, I don't think she's right for you, and you are wo red flag ke list ke saath, oh, this is tick, cancel, tick,
Right.
cancel. It doesn't work that way. So it has to be a regular check-in thing, but it can't be a daily check-in thing. Otherwise, everybody's red flag.
Yeah.
In the first 1 month of the relationship, everybody's a green flag because your hormones are telling you
Yeah.
so. And once the hormones, once the love hormones, once the oxytocin, once the endorphin, the feel-good chemical, the josh, the excitement goes away, the butterflies in your stomach, the palpitation of your
Yeah.
heart, all of that goes away, then everybody is a red
Yeah, then
flag
the
person.
pink frames just turn red. So, like, since this thing has happened now and people have started over analyzing, you use the term analyzing. So, I think everyone is, because we have so much information and every second thing we see on the internet is telling us about, look out for these red flags, or this behavior is toxic, this behavior is not toxic. And we've started over analyzing that in every person we meet. And especially when we are dating, especially when we are looking to form a connection with a person. And more often than once, I think we just end at a very initial state itself ki like, okay, this must be toxic itself, and we just end it. And things never go beyond this. We end up never forming a connection. And I think that is something which I've recently come across, this has given a rise to loneliness epidemic.
Absolutely. The loneliness epidemic is very real.
Yeah.
And it is because there is a desire to get the perfect girl or the perfect guy. It is a result of that.
Yeah.
And of course, what you're saying, too much of red flagging, green flagging, and all of that. You have to understand one aspect, that no matter whom you're dating, that person is going to have their pros, their cons,
Yeah.
their green flags. Red flags not necessarily, but yellow flags to sab mein hone wale hain. Everybody's going to have some yellow flags
Yeah.
at least. Now, are the yellow flags that you are looking at in a person okay with you or not okay with you?
Right.
Green flags, of course, you are okay with. I'm saying yellow flags.
Right.
Certain behaviors which might be a deal breaker for someone and which might not be a deal breaker for someone. Now, that depends on that individual.
Right.
Also, while you're trying to invest in a relationship, if you put some time in, and when you're doing all of this analysis, stop looking at other people's profiles that you might potentially date.
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to the showroom to buy a Bata chappal or a
Yeah.
Bata shoe, and right next I'm looking at Adidas, all at the same while. So it's like I'm buying this, but the next showroom is Adidas, so I'm wearing this, but I'm looking there. You can't do
Yeah.
that. You have to wear it. You have to take a test of that shoe. So you have to just
Right.
walk around in the shop for some time.
Yeah.
If you feel okay, then you have to give it time.
Right.
You have to give it 10 days for the shoe to fit your soul. Same thing you have to do in relationships. You can't be that, oh, there are 4 green flags, but शायद 2 red flags हो सकते हैं, and therefore might as well not just go ahead, or don't invest any amount.
Right.
Again, it is about investing the right amount, not
Right.
over investing, because then you lead to different problems. And not investing at all also leads to problem, because you're not going to find a single girl or a single guy who's only green flags and no red flags.
Right.
The best that you can find is more number of desired green flags, less number of yellow flags. That's the best that anybody can get.
Yeah.
Right? So if you have that approach, and if you have a good set of friends,
Right.
dating is one bit. Second bit is having friends,
Right.
family and friends. If you have a good connect with family, and even more with good friends, then this loneliness epidemic will not strike you per se.
Right.
Because let's say this thing that we are looking at, where the cup is kept, this table has kind of 4 legs on it.
Right.
Let's say this cup is a person, and the 4 legs are the 4 support systems. So basically it's like that only in life. The first support system is your family.
Correct.
The second support system, the second leg of this table, is your partner, the one that you're dating. The third person is your friends, and the fourth one is you yourself.
Yeah.
Now, if you think that through dating those 4 legs can be replaced by just one, then you are putting too much of emphasis, too much of too much of pressure on that one
Yeah.
person, imaginary pressure in your head.
Yeah.
And then no matter who that person is, he's not going to be or she's not going to be able to live up to that. So what do? You have a system of 25, 25, 25, 25, wherein 125 is your family, because that family, there are toxic families also, but 99% we'll consider, most of the families are not
Yeah.
toxic. 25% reliance on family, 25%
Right.
reliance on good friends, 25% reliance on the dating partner, and 25% reliance on self. You do that, then loneliness epidemic will not come close to you.
Right.
You feel that that one leg is going to replace all the other legs. You are in for a very, very big emotional roller coaster, which mostly will end up with this loneliness epidemic, which mostly will end up with depression, will end up with substance abuse or something
Right.
like that.
So, Dr. Sagar, like you said, we have these other pillars in our lives,
Right.
be it our family, friends, but sometimes it also happens that we get too much involvement from our friends. There's too much commenting happening. You know, he did this, she did this. This is not right. Bhai, aise to nahi hota hai, bro. This doesn't happen. So, how much, to what extent does a person also needs to, identify themselves at how much I listen to these other pillars when it comes to this particular pillar of my life, and how much do I not? Because I believe that if things make sense for the two people, it shouldn't have to make sense for all the other pillars in your life.
Absolutely. Everything that is making sense for you,
Right.
for you too, if something is making sense for you too, it is impossible that it is going to make sense to the other pillars of your life.
Right.
When I'm talking of the other pillars of your life, I am saying you should be able to take emotional support from them,
Right.
and your dependence on them has to be overall. So basically what I'm trying to say is your relationship is only 25, 30, 40% of your life. Okay, it is the most important part of your life, we can say that.
Right.
But the other part of your life has to be compromised by, the other part of your life has to be made up of these three pillars.
Right.
Doesn't mean that these three pillars once in a blue moon is different. If they feel something is really off about the relationship, it is
Correct.
different. But on a daily, regular basis, keep interfering inside your life with your partner. The same thing also applies for your life with your family.
Right.
You have a certain dynamic with your family. Now, if it is something which is a very major thing, once in a blue moon, your partner can tell you things about that. But if the partner is such, now this is what a red flag looks like. If a partner is somebody who is constantly demeaning or constantly critical of your dynamic with your family on a very regular basis,
Right.
then it is a very big problem. So it applies both ways. See,
Right.
it doesn't go only one way. The problem with people is people feel that, oh, we are in this relationship, and then all the other pillars, they shouldn't be able to kind of comment on it at all. That is the problem. They should be able to comment on it once in a while.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be the final authority. They should be able to give their suggestions.
Right.
But the same thing, like they are able to give their suggestions on how you can improve your relationship or X, Y, Z about your relationship with your partner once in a while, the same also applies the other way around.
Right.
The same also applies the other way around. So the partner does not have a free hand that if there is a girl best friend of a girl and the guy is like, he's dating the girl, why do you share this with her, why do you share with that with her, she just keeps taking you for granted, she never appreciates you, she only uses you. Once in a blue moon he gives his piece of advice, his piece of suggestion, that's different. But if girl has a best girlfriend, a bestie, you've been together for, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, and the guy comes along and he starts poking his nose on a regular basis. See, again, I'm somebody who believes that moderation is the key for any good relationship. Starts poking his nose on a very regular basis. That is also not done.
Right.
So the relationship is a very, very important part of your life,
Right.
but it is not your life.
Right. And from the bestie, I think my brain first goes to having a girl bestie or a guy bestie. Like it always happens in relationships. Like if I might be jealous of my partner's girl best friend because I don't know, for any whatever reasons, because there's always, I think it comes from the idea of there's always a possibility of, oh, is this person going to cheat on me? Is this Is this going to turn into something? This
Yeah, so
friendship is going to.
when does it come? When does it come? See, once in a blue, let's say a girl is there, as
Yeah.
you talked of, let's say you or for some girl is there, and you have a boyfriend,
Yeah.
and he has a girl bestie. Again, this is biology, all right, and we can only progress in relationship if we accept that there are certain parts which are very, very innate
Yeah.
to us being human.
Yeah.
So little bit, again I'm saying pinch of insecurity is very natural.
Yeah.
That is just how God created us. When it becomes more than a pinch,
Yeah.
then you have to do some self-analysis. Whether you were cheated on in your last relationship and you're carrying that baggage. Whether you yourself are a cheater and therefore feel ki if I had a male bestie, the chances that I would slip are very high, and
Yeah.
therefore I am just subconsciously projecting that onto my partner. Is it that?
Yeah.
People don't know, but that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
There could be another option wherein the bestie of your boyfriend is actually getting too lovey-dovey more than a best friend should. So there is a scenario wherein what you're thinking could actually be real.
Yeah.
But majority of the times it is either, if given the chance, your subconscious mind would do the same with your male bestie, or it is, for girls, it is generally the fact that in your previous relationship or any of your other friends' previous relationship, you have encountered that, okay, when a boyfriend of mine
Yeah.
or when a guy has a female best friend, all men are dogs. That is what they say, isn't it? So this guy is also going to be a dog.
Yeah.
And he is going to pounce on that girl bestie the
Yeah.
moment he gets a chance.
Right.
It generally comes from the insecurity of past relationships wherein you have been cheated on.
Yeah.
Now that guy was different, this guy is different. To assume that that's what he's going to do is a inadequacy in you
Right.
or that girl as a person or that guy as a person.
Right.
So you have to work on yourself. You have to go to
Right.
therapy. You have to go to a psychiatrist. Help yourself heal through that trauma.
Right.
And in, of course, 5 to 10% cases, it is the actual reality.
Yeah. It kind of
You
is.
saw that movie Sonu Ki Tittu Ki,
Yeah.
whatever it was. That's what they've shown in that movie. But in that movie, apart from the main protagonist, the guy who's kind of caught up between Kartik Aaryan and Nusrat,
Yeah.
Sunny Singh.
Yeah.
He's like, Kartik Aaryan is pulling him here and the girl is pulling him here. None of them, the girl or the guy bestie, Kartik Aaryan, none of them are doodh ka dhula hua. You're getting it? The guy is very, very naive.
Yeah.
So he's getting drawn in this direction, he's getting drawn in this direction. So you can't be that naive.
Yeah.
Even if he's your best friend, you have to be able to look past certain things. If you are getting married, then you have to understand that there are going to be certain limitations.
Right.
And that is what you call then as a girl, an accepting girl. Now this, why I'm saying an accepting girl, because again, I don't mean to sound sexist or anything. I'm just talking of numbers. Generally, and I'm very happy when I see girls who are besties.
Yeah.
Generally, girl besties is an uncommon phenomenon.
Yeah.
Very, very close. Generally, guy besties is a very common phenomenon. So, for a guy, what is a red flag what is a green flag in a girl? Let's say I have a bestie, guy bestie. My girl comes in and she thinks of that friend of mine that he's my brother.
Yeah.
So she doesn't feel threatened ki I am not getting time. Of
Yeah.
course, if it gets too much, then I'm not talking of extremes. But being accepting of that is a green flag.
Right.
And there are many wonderful young girls who do that.
Yeah.
But then you know it's all about balance. Relationships is about in the long term की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. Short term में तो there are 100 different things. About balance and about effort.
And when things come to short term, I think they always come to short term because everyone is so afraid of commitment these days.
Yeah, because they have been told that nobody is worth committing to.
Yeah.
And it is so much more fun not committing.
Yeah.
2 reasons of not committing are there today. One is you'll over-invest in someone and that person 100% is going to be a bastard. Right? That is the assumption.
Yeah.
That person is going to be somebody who's not going to kind of give that commitment back.
Yeah.
Assumption based. Not true, but assumption based.
Right.
That is 1. 2. Now this is a little trickier part. This is where the basic primordial, the primal brain part has been almost been hacked.
Right.
The brain likes novelty. That's how the brain is. The brain does not like monotony. The brain thrives more on novelty.
Yeah.
And today there's an environment wherein if you don't commit and you are talking to one girl one day, the second girl the second day, and the third girl the third day, and the fourth girl 7 days, 7 girls you're talking to, vice versa. Every day your brain is getting that novelty, that kick of dopamine, which is impossible with one specific person.
Right.
Whether that person is full of green flags.
Right.
And you are not giving yourself enough time only to get emotionally invested and
Right.
see how blissful it can be with one person. What you're doing, every day you're going and taking that kick of dopamine and coming back and you feel this is good. So
Right.
it is not even fear of commitment. It used
Right.
to be fear of commitment as the primary reason why people are not committing till a few years back. Now it is the ocean is so huge and the fish are so many.
Yeah.
Why should I be limited to one?
Right.
Because every time I eat a different fish, the fun is very high. And when the dopamine is high, the brain stops working.
Yeah.
That is why we say don't do drugs, na? Because when you do drugs, the dopamine goes so high
Yeah.
that any rational behavior or any long-term behavior goes out of the toss. You want to feel good right now. So that's why people are doing so much of multi-dating at a single
Right.
point of time, because they are hooked onto that dopamine kick.
Right.
They want to feel good.
Correct. And I think that is also the reason why there's a rise in cases in affairs, cheating, because you might be in a relationship, things might be going well, but now that it has just hit this, monotonous scale, so you just want something.
Absolutely. It is one of the most important reasons. See, again, people say that infidelity, that cheating happens when the relationship is not doing fine. Yes, that is one of the primary reasons, wherein your basic needs are 2-3 from a relationship. Basic
Right.
needs are two: emotional part of the relationship and the physical part of the relationship. These are two basic parts that you want from a romantic relationship. When any of this is majorly depleted or majorly missing, which happens in a long-term relationship, or which might not happen if the people are very conscious of it. If it is missing, then it's like, you're thirsty, and you can see, water is best for you. So your partner is best for you.
Yeah.
But you see coffee there. And because the thirst is so much, you just kind of give in. And two is, even when the relationship is good, even when majority of things are good, some people have become thrill junkies. And because once you experience the thrill, it feels so good the first time, it's almost like in a drug addiction.
Yeah.
You are all fine. Let's say somebody is all fine. They do cocaine the first time for experimentation, not for the sake of, I was depressed and therefore I took cocaine and then it made me feel good. That is one category. Second category is everything was fine, still I took drugs.
Yeah.
And then the kick that it gave me is nothing that I felt before.
Right.
And now every other kick feels smaller. So I want to do that.
Right.
It's the same with this multi-dating culture, hooking up with multiple people all at the same time.
Right.
The kick that you get is not going to be matched in your monotonous happy relationship.
Right.
Whether it is happy or unhappy, even if it is happy, that kick is almost unmatchable.
Right.
Therefore, people get so hooked onto this, even when the relationship is okay. So what do you do in such a scenario? Don't do drugs. So what do you do in such a scenario? If you're in a happy relationship, don't go out.
Don't go looking for coffee.
Don't go looking for coffee. Be happy with your water. Keep your eyes close to coffee.
Right.
The other category, wherein the water is only not available.
Right.
The water is dried up. What you should do? Try and go for couples counseling.
Right.
Try and talk it out with your partner. If you've done it multiple times and it's not working, then it's a different story.
Yeah.
But do that first. Who knows?
Right.
Perhaps the tap water will start coming again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's always an option of just letting go of that person then.
See, that's letting go is also a concept which is again become very, very trendy now, because the thing is that people label monotonous relationships as boring, and sometimes they find some toxicity from somewhere, even if it is there or not there. It might be there.
Yeah.
but you find it, you label some part of it toxic, and then you say, oh, I can't take this toxicity, and then you let go. That is okay to a certain extent, but when you are in a long-term relationship, when let's say people are married, I'm not talking of dating here, I'm talking of marriage.
Right.
Specifically, even after marriage, when you have kids, it's not as simple, and it shouldn't be. Otherwise, the kid is going to suffer. Just because you're getting bored, just because the monotony is getting too much for you. I'm not talking of the water drying up case. I'm talking of water is there, but coffee zyada achhi lag rahi hai. That case. In that case, you have to exercise self-discipline. In that case, you have to exercise self-control, because if you can control that desire, and everybody has it, okay? People who say that I don't have this desire after being in a long-term relationship, I feel that the only guy I look at or the only guy I imagine myself with is my boyfriend, or the only girl I look at is my girlfriend. It's not possible. The temptation will be there. The question is whether you give into that temptation or you don't give into that temptation. That is where self-control, discipline, that is what separates us from monkeys. Na?
True.
Yeah, so yeah.
Totally. And while we are on the topic of infidelity, there's a very, I don't know if you've watched this, there's a show wherein this topic was very, I don't know the name of the show. It's the show that Kajol and this one Twinkle Khanna host, where this topic like just came up, where these two actresses were like, yeah, you know what, cheating is fine as long as it is physical. Emotional cheating is like real cheating.
Okay.
So I don't know, like, how do you differentiate, or how does one
see, first of all,
morally place these two? Like, how is ethical cheating any better than emotional cheating, or how is any kind of cheating better?
See, nothing is better, nothing is bad. It is all about what the society is more accepting of. The same show Kajol and Twinkle Khanna would have been doing, let's say, 10 years back. They wouldn't have said this on camera. Because the society is not ready to hear that. There is, if you look at anything, there is nothing like absolutely right and nothing like absolutely wrong in the world. There's a concept called overtone window. Overtone window means what is acceptable to most of the people today in society. There was a time 200, 300 years back when sati was acceptable to most of the people. Today, you go and talk about sati, people will say, what a regressive thought process, and it is. We have been so ingrained to think about it that way, and it is in that sense. But what I'm trying to say is, you talk about cheating 20 years back, any cheating would have been said is wrong. The same people I'm talking of, I'm assuming 20 years back, 10 years back, even this show would have come, they would have said, every cheating is wrong. Sab kuch galat hai. But now the society is more open to accepting infidelity if there is a reason for it. Correct? So they're talking about it. So basically it all depends on what level of evolution the society is at to say this is justified and that is not justified. Now, coming to your point, I derailed a bit. Coming to your point, physical cheating is still okay, emotional cheating is not. What they meant by that is, I'm assuming as a female, what they meant is, again, this is again not meant to be sexist, but this is what it is. Generally, females and males are very different. Now again, there could be exceptions, but males do not need to be emotionally attached to a lady to be able to have sexual attraction to a girl, and that holds true for 99.9% of the males in the world. It is true. Any male who tells you it's wrong either has a very, very high self-control, or is a form of God, or has really worked, or is lying. So 99.9% of the males do not require emotional connection before they can have a physical connection and intimacy. For females, it's very different. Generally, again, I am not talking universally. Generally, females, it works. Step one, emotional connection. If there is emotional connection, then the female feels sexually attracted to that guy. So what I think they were meaning to say was, if the guy is going and cheating, or if the guy is going and having a physical affair wherein there are no emotions involved, it is, so to say, just his lust overtaking him. And it is, we leave it at that. And there is no emotional connect. Then it is okay, is what they were trying to say. That's what I think.
It's okay. I think I'm still biased.
Huh?
20. I think I'm still biased to 20 years earlier. Like, cheating is cheating.
That's what I'm telling you. So everybody's thought process is different.
Right.
Cheating is cheating for many. Cheating, if done to this extent, is okay for some. Cheating, if done to that extent, is okay for
Right.
some. For some people, going out on a coffee date with somebody else might also become cheating.
Right.
For somebody, it might be just the guy had physical intimacy, but 101% emotional intimacy is with me.
Yeah.
Still not cheating.
Right.
So morality and ethicality are very, very, everybody's line where they draw, everybody's Lakshman Rekha is different.
Correct.
Now then what should be the correct thing? As long as your partner is not getting affected, as long as your partner is not getting hurt, as long as what your partner wants and what you are telling are not entirely different, as long as you're not totally keeping your partner in the dark, there are 100 different versions of what cheating could be.
Right.
Because there was a time, there was a time, let's just go back 500 years back to 200 years back, a girl talking to any person who's any man who's come to her home,
Yeah.
just talking to that person in a friendly way,
Right.
nice, friendly, laughing way, could have been labeled as cheating.
Right.
So you can label anything as cheating.
Yeah.
Both the partners have to be sure, okay, this is what we are calling cheating.
Right.
It shouldn't be that one partner feels this is cheating, other partner feels this is cheating. Then it is going to be a big mess. Yeah.
So I think this then also causes a lot of misunderstandings among couples as well, because your definitions or your your barriers of what accounts as cheating and what doesn't are not clear. Maybe you've not spoken of it, because for someone it just might be ki, okay, how did he? I think this is just a running joke on the internet.
Yeah.
Like, how did you like her story? How did you like his story? You are cheating on me.
So what do you think? Is that cheating or not?
I really don't know, because it really then depends on what story, where, who is the person. There's too many factors to things to decide, I feel.
So there are too many factors to everything for us to be able to label anything as cheating.
Yeah.
It's not black and white. It is 150 shades of grey. Right? It is absolutely 50 shades of grey.
Yeah, makes sense. But I think,
There are open relationships.
Yeah.
There, the other partner can go and have intimacy with 20 different partners. That is still not counted as cheating.
Right.
And then there are normal conventional relationships wherein a partner is going behind the back and just going out on a date, let's say.
Yeah.
That still might be counted as cheating.
Right.
So it all depends. It's a very, very, very grey zone.
Yeah, so it's mostly just then about what the two people
Absolutely.
agree on.
Absolutely.
Like, this is like off the guard for us. This is something we do. This is something we don't.
Absolutely.
It's between the two people. Then
Absolutely.
again, it always comes down to the two people, guys. Please. How much importance does sexual compatibility hold in a relationship?
Very, 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 very important.
Yeah.
I would place it as important as emotional compatibility.
Right.
For a man specifically.
Yeah.
For a man, and of course for females also, I'm not saying no. But generally for men, their way of expressing their love many times could be through sexual compatibility. That could be one way of expressing their love. People say there are 10 different love languages. Sexual compatibility is also one of the love languages.
Yeah.
And a guy will feel very loved when his girl, when his girlfriend, when his wife, when his situationship partner, whatever you want to call it, is, of course, with consent, sexually compatible with him, makes him feel special that way, is not dismissive of what he wants in a sexual relationship. I think a guy will feel much appreciated. Like a female will feel much, much, much appreciated if she is venting out about something, and it could be a very trivial thing. But if the guy sits and listens and pays attention to her and doesn't offer a solution but just listens and says, okay, I hear you.
Yeah.
The equivalent of that for a man is sexual compatibility, is what I would say. It is so important. Of course, and for females also. It's just that females haven't been told to explore their sexuality.
Right.
And we are going towards there. The culture is becoming a little open, which is great. It will become for females also. It's just that females have been told not to kind of, they've been told to keep it under the wraps. Kind of not do it, not be very vocal about it, which is not a good thing. In a relationship, the female, if she is vocal about it, and if she is also sexually very compatible and she is able to voice out what she likes, the man, I think most of the cases, will be more than happy to comply.
Yeah.
And if that happens, the female will also feel fuller. The female will feel that they are in a more, more engaging, engrossed relationship. And of course, the level of the relationship will reach another level if there is sexual compatibility. It is the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It is like tadka in dal. You can have the dal, go outside, have the dal fry. It won't make that much sense.
Yeah.
Just add that tadka to it and see how much of bliss and how much of the spice.
Yeah.
So that is very necessary, because it's again one of the primal needs.
Right.
Primal needs are primal needs. Like the feel for a human, the feeling of belongingness, the feeling that I belong to him or I belong to her.
Yeah.
That feeling is very deeply rooted in us. Why?
Right.
Because we are social animals. Because even back in the good old days when we were living in herds as cavemen, we used to live in caves of 20, in herds of 20. If you get isolated there, out of 20 people, you get isolated, there it meant death.
Right.
A tiger would come eat you up. That's why human beings are so scared of isolation, so scared of loneliness. A tiger thrives in isolation.
Yeah.
आपने ऐसा कभी नहीं सुना एक tiger है, he's feeling isolated these days, he's feeling lonely these days. A tiger doesn't feel lonely. That's how he's been created. Human beings have been created as social beings.
Right.
Why? Because if they were not social, in the caveman days, they would not just be feeling, oh, I'm a little sad and little different. You would die.
Right.
Because some predator would eat you up. The same genes, same emotions have carried on. So therefore, when we feel isolated, we feel so bad.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what's so bad in it? There are many animals which live in isolation and live very happily.
Right.
But we can't, because our brains haven't been designed to be that way.
Right. But then there has also been rise of hyper-independence in people.
Yeah.
It also somewhere I think stems from the fear of being hurt by someone, if they have any particular trauma, if something has happened in the past.
I'll tell you one thing. I've seen a lot of cases. Of course, if you have been hurt, if you have been you have not been taken care of well in any relationship, the feeling of being hyper-independent comes. But the feeling of being hyper-independent also comes from a thing that is not talked of much. The amount of adversity that you face will create interdependence among people. The less is the adversity in life, jitna kam takleef rahega. Like, if I have some money in my account today, let's say in a city like Mumbai, let's say I earn 2 lakh rupees per month, I can download all the apps. I have Swiggy, I have Zomato, I have Ola, Uber.
Yeah.
I have Snabbit, so house cleaner will come and clean my home.
Yeah.
I have food, Zomato sorted out, travel sorted out. I want to go out on a date, Tinder is there, Bumble is there. I want to have hookups, that is also available there.
Yeah.
So I want to just have a friendly conversation. There are 100 different groups available. So basically, with money, because of less adversity, I can get a sense that my life will be complete.
Yeah.
Although it's not complete, you're just filling it up with more money and then getting the services. I feel, why should I listen to anybody?
Yeah.
But the more adverse a condition that you are in, let's say the same person now has only 25k per month. So he can't afford a Ola, Uber. So when he or she will go down from her or his apartment, he will have 5 good contacts कि भाई कोई 2-wheeler पे somebody is going there, मैं भी पीछे बैठ जाती हूँ because वो 100 रुपए बच जाएंगे. I can't go to a Zomato.
Yeah.
So I will go and knock on the door of the next door maushi or the next door auntie कि auntie दिवाली पे मैं घर नहीं गया, मुझे and she has made some chakli, you can eat that. So adversity breeds interdependence, and the less is the perceived adversity and where you feel you can buy off anything,
right,
then you'll be, why should I listen to anybody?
Yeah.
So the same thing happened in COVID mein, it was like, even if you're having a lot of money, still it was an adversity, and there people became interdependent.
Right.
But now again we are back to that. Especially in metros, in bigger cities, you see that with money you can almost get everything. So then you are like, why should I be extending pleasantries to my neighbor or the kirana wala niche ka when Blinkit is going to serve me everything? And it's very basic human nature. So when we say that yes, people are becoming hyper independent, some of it is definitely, उसमें से कुछ अंश definitely ये है कि भाई आपको trauma हुआ है, you don't want to feel that trauma again, might as well not invest. But उसमें ये भी element है that we become arrogant enough कि we feel we don't require anybody. ये भी element है. We don't want to accept that.
Right.
Everything in life wherein you're trying to become hyper independent, not getting committed, cannot be attributed to trauma and past baggage.
Right.
Sometimes we are just being arrogant. Sometimes we are just being high-handed. Sometimes we are just being कि भाई मेरे को किसी की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are being narcissistic, and the dating culture and the overall culture today promotes narcissism.
Yeah.
Independence is different. Narcissism is glorified self-worth.
Yeah.
That's what people are seeking. No? Social media fooled us into believing कि पहले, just imagine when we were children, early 2000s, late 90s. I don't know which specific age group watches your channel, but we are kids of 90s.
Yeah.
So for us, it was like if I had 10 good friends, बहुत बड़ी बात हो गई. But on social media, 10 likes is like nothing.
Yeah.
100 हो तो कोई बात है.
हाँ.
So social media has been successful in fooling us into believing that it's not promoting, generally not promoting real connections.
Yeah.
Same goes for dating. Same goes for the hyper independence bit. You're getting everything so easily, transactionally, that you don't really need to invest too much.
Right.
Even in dating also. A woman can date 4 different guys at one point of time. One can be for financial needs. Other one could be very good listener, so emotional needs. Third one could be very good in bed, so sexual needs. Fourth one could be very, very intelligent, so solving her problems.
Yeah.
So like you're using 4 apps, what is there to stop you from using 4 people? It's again an ethical blurred.
Yeah.
It's a blurry line. Na? There's no law
Right.
against it.
Right.
So when you can use 10 apps, you can use 10 people.
Right.
It just depends where your self-control ends.
Is that, do you think, is that why, like, because people see hyper independence as this, oh, I don't need anyone, why people are also a little more reluctant these days about commitments, marriage on a whole? Like, why
Absolutely.
should I have to compromise?
Absolutely,
why would I
because people today are living in an illusion of independence, illusion of hyper independence. We are more dependent than ever.
Yeah.
People who are from the previous generations, you go back one generation, they were less they were more independent. You go back before that, they were more independent. Go back 50 years back, see your grandmom and granddads. The grandmoms used to prepare all the food in the home.
Yeah.
The granddads used to know whatever plumbing is there. They used to know whatever electric ka basic kaam is there. They used to know the house maintenance work. Basically, they used to know it.
Yeah.
We don't know anything. We have an electrician, we have a plumber, we have a cook, we have a cleaner. So we are the most dependent generation humankind has ever seen. But we are in a delusion that we are hyper independent.
Right.
That is our arrogance. And that bubble, sometimes it bursts, sometimes it doesn't burst for certain people.
Yeah.
If it bursts, you realize what the reality is. A good part would be knowing that it is an illusion. Of course, utilizing the services possible, but at the same time knowing that you are not hyper independent. We are people who don't know how to cook for ourselves and we call ourselves independent. I think it's a joke. And it came to fore during the COVID first wave, second wave. People didn't have cooking, people didn't have cleaning, everything they had to learn.
Yes.
Is that how an independent person works? Real independence, if you want to see hyper independence, it is not there in our country. The youth of our country are really not independent, hyper independent. They are, if you really want to see independence, I would recommend through your platform for every Gen Z person to go to the European continent.
Yeah.
There is real independence because you have to cook for yourself, you have to clean for yourself. It is so costly. Only a millionaire can afford all of these facilities.
Yeah, house helps.
You have to do the house cleaning yourself. सब आपको करना पड़ता है. And then you can have the arrogance and say that, oh, I am hyper independent, I don't need anybody.
Yeah.
They are not taking money from their parents on one side and then saying you can't dictate me on things. They are working jobs. They are working as waitresses. They are working as waiters. They are working as drivers. They are standing in museums, earning their bread, spending it. That is true independence. What we have been fed in our country in the name of true independence is basically an illusion of independence.
Right. All right. So I think we've had this wonderful, wonderful conversation. I hope a lot of people are going to gain a lot and lot of information, a lot of things one should really look at, not look at everything. But I would like to just ask Dr. Sagar that if you had to give one last advice or one piece you would of information you'd want to leave the youth with as to how one should approach relationships, look at relationships, and what is something they could do to retain it.
See, relationships, don't look at relationships as T20 matches.
Yeah.
I'm not saying right at the start look at a relationship as a test match either. But you can have a healthy middle ground, which is look at relationship like a one-day match. In a one-day match, a 50-over match, you get some time to understand what is the quality of the player.
Yeah.
In 2020, somebody is not good might play well on that day, and somebody is good might not play well on that day. If you do that with relationships, what will happen is that because of your phobia of commitment, because of your so-called hyper-independence, because of you trying to find the Mr. Perfect or Miss Perfect, you'll never ever find somebody. And because you have the illusion of option, it's not even real option, it's the illusion that you have got so many options. Because you go to the next option, the same things are going to happen which happened with this person. That's what you're going to keep doing until you feel you have met someone who's the best, which you're never going to find.
Right.
Because at best a person will be a lot of green flags and some yellow flags. You will not find a single person who's only green flags.
Yeah.
So don't look at it as T20. Neither look at it as a test match wherein you know for a fact that the other person is abusive. The other person is absolutely not what you want. He is or she is just taking all the red flags that you can think of. But just because you don't want to feel empty, just because you don't want to feel lonely, just because you don't want to feel that everybody has a girlfriend or a boyfriend and I don't, and I have no other option, I've been with him for so long, you'll just stick around. So don't look at it as a test match. Don't look at it as a T20. Look at it with reality in your mind, with what do you say, don't have an idealistic version, have a realistic version. Of course you can have your fairy tales as a girl, or you could have your expectations as a guy, but have some realism to it. 1, 2, tell yourself that no matter how good the relationship looks initially, it is a honeymoon phase, it will get over. You should be ready to put in the effort. 3, understand what really toxic relationships mean, because we are branding normal behavior as toxic, and sometimes we don't understand the toxic behavior is happening and we are just branding it as normal. So really understand, do not get caught up in the maze of social media wherein every second influencer who understands nothing about psychology is telling you this is the red flag and this is the green flag. They themselves might be the biggest red flag. So when you are looking at this kind of advice, try and take professional advice. Try and take advice from people who have studied that, who have seen that, psychologists, psychiatrists, therapists, or good podcasts like yours wherein you're getting people who understand that. That will at least help you identify what is toxic and what is not toxic. And if I think if the youth does this much, I think even if the youth is able to kind of look at this podcast from A to Z, that in itself is a very big thing, because that is the level of patience that we have reached, that we can't even look and enjoy one podcast start to end without switching. So let's start with looking at your wonderful podcast, start to end, develop that patience and apply the same patience in the dating culture.
That's a wonderful note to leave this conversation on. And I would definitely not want to spoil it by anything else, but I would just want to say, if you guys have genuinely taken something from this conversation, which I am sure you must have, because I know I have, and I would like to urge you all to share this episode as much as you can, because everyone needs this information, be it your friends, family, your partner. Please make everyone watch this, because this is important information, guys, because everything we do in the end is for our connections, for the people we are around. And this is not just about dating. I think this information helps us navigating all our relationships, because it's important. And so share it, like it, subscribe to our channel for more such podcasts. And don't forget to hit the notification icon so you do not miss out on such beautiful episodes. That will be all, guys. I'll see you in next episode. Thank you so much.